Let's head to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
I think in terms of the Cleveland Browns, analytics has replaced common sense. For one thing, I love Carson Schlesinger. I love Mason Graham. But I do think our team could be a little bit better off if we had Will Campbell and maybe Luther Burden instead of those two, because those were areas of need, and I think we're suffering for it now. I don't get why we are taking the human aspect out of our draft process. And it seems like Andrew Berry and Paul DePodesta want to be the smartest guys in the room, and we are suffering for it. Those are my thoughts. Hopefully we get a win in Pittsburgh before I die. So, go Browns.
As always, appreciate all of the voicemails. G. Bush, it's kind of interesting. I understand what he's saying about analytics. I don't know that I'd point to Schlesinger and Mason Graham as the guys for that. And I think you always get in trouble when you try to draft for needs. See Jedrick Wills.
Man, look, so, yeah, man, boy, I mean, this is tough. Here's the problem you got. It's not necessarily in this year's draft where the problems is. It's the devil's in the details. So when you start to look at the receiving core, it goes back deeper than this. When you take Anthony Schwartz over Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka Nacua was one of these drafts, right? You had a David Bell, Jamari Thrash, Mike Woods. These are some of the guys you had, Cedric Tillman. These are the guys you've drafted at receiver. And those guys have not been playmakers or guys that move the needle. You've had to also go out and get guys like Jerry Jeudy or Amari Cooper. Those are your best receivers from other people's rosters. So when you miss on these positions like wide receiver, it doesn't hurt you to year one. But when you go back into year two and you don't hit, and then you go into year three and you don't hit. And mind you, Anthony Schwartz ain't even in the league. He's not even a receiver anymore. I mean, David Bell, I don't know if he's on a roster somewhere. When you miss on these type picks, you look up one day and you say, where are all our receivers? You didn't just miss on them last year. You missed on a succession of receivers. The evaluation process is what we have to look at. And when you talk about the evaluation process, it has not been good at offensive line, has not been good at receiver. And when you get 5-6 years in, you can have a great class like Carson Schlesinger or Mason Graham or Harold Fannin Jr. or Quinshon Judkins. Hey, those are all nice picks, but you missed before. And when you miss at those positions and you think you got something in DeJuan Jones and he's injured, and then Jed Wills, he's not in football anymore, and guys like that, it took you 3-4 times to get it. Even Mike Hall Jr., he's a second-round pick. Zach Zenner, he's an offensive lineman. Taven, what's the name? Taven Jenkins, I believe. He from the Bears, we got him. We haven't even seen those linemen, right? And when you miss on those guys, pretty soon it becomes a glaring issue and a glaring weakness. So to me, they have to get better. This year was a good draft class, but the sign of a good general manager is what do you do consistently to find playmakers to fill the holes? And by the way, we just moved on Greg Newsome. If you want to move on from a person, we talk about how you don't know about a draft class until 3, 4, 5 years. Well, Greg Newsome was a first-round draft pick. You usually want guys to either make a Pro Bowl, be all-pro, or get a contract where you sign them to a second contract. All three of those things did not happen, so it's a mixed bag of fruit when it comes to whether or not they're successful at their draft picks.
My issue with the wide receivers is they haven't used above a third-round pick on them, and I think it is a premium position, and it's a premium position where you're lacking. So I get the trades, but I want a first or second-round wide receiver that's big.
You want a nice toy.
I want somebody that's big and fast and can catch the ball. That's all I'm looking for at this. All right.
Justin Jefferson looked real good last week, by the way.
He did.